And once again, we have the community coming together. And today we have Luis. Luis is here. Luis Bravo is here from Comite VIDA. And Luis has been working in the community with a lot of projects. Luis, thank you for taking the time on this holiday that a lot of people call a holiday, even though our undocumented community are washing dishes in restaurants right now, are still working in the fields, are taking care of the elderly, and the list goes on and on. So while some people, again, are celebrating today as Thanksgiving, or undocumented community members are out there taking care of people so they can celebrate. Can you tell us what your organization has been working on over the last few weeks?
Hi, Rafael. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Luis Bravo with Comite Vida. We're a purely volunteer organization. No one gets paid any money in our group. Our group works with protecting immigrant rights. Years ago, driver's license and impounding cars. More recently, we started meeting and protesting outside of Senator Dianne Feinstein. Our biggest issue at this point in time that we're pushing for is comprehensive immigration reform, right? An immigration reform that hasn't taken place in the United States for more than 35 years. I think 3 weeks ago or so, it was the 35th year anniversary since the 1986 immigration reform. And it is past overdue that we need another immigration reform that benefits workers, that benefits immigrants. We protested outside of Senator Dianne Feinstein, telling her the rules that the Senate has that does not allow anything to happen basically need to be eliminated. The filibuster needs to be eliminated. We need to be able to pass fair legislation, laws that will benefit immigrants and others with a simple majority of 51 votes versus 60 votes, right? We told her that we're urging her, we're demanding that she support an immigration reform for everybody. There's 11 million, 12 million undocumented immigrants in the United States, and we're pushing for a pathway to citizenship for all. The House of Representatives already passed a watered-down version of that. It would basically give work permits to as many as 1 million people, but Democratic senators and others, and the parliamentarian in the Senate, the person that comes up with the rules for the Senate, right, has advised and told Democrats and senators that an immigration reform cannot happen to the budget reconciliation process. Having it go through the budget reconciliation process would allow Democrats or any party to pass, to create laws with 51 votes. In our meeting in our face-to-face with Dianne Feinstein, she did get out of her home and speak to us briefly. She told us, we need to create a better bill. We need 60 votes to get immigration reform. We said, yeah, we know that. We know that there are other ways to get legislation passed. We haven't had any type of important immigration reform for over 35 years, and we want and need this to happen. We did schedule a follow-up meeting with her staff this past Thursday. They came to us with a bill that would give status to about 1 million or less than 1 million people. But again, they weren't showing any support for broader groups. Our meeting was short. We were trying to reschedule with them as some of our speakers were not able to speak given the short amount of time that we were provided with. And we're here, inviting community members, organizations to unite, to coalesce with us. And we did create a change.org petition where we're urging California senators, Senator Alex Padilla, Senator Dianne Feinstein, and this can be used with other senators in other key states to let them know that we are here needing an immigration reform that gives a pathway to citizenship for all undocumented immigrants, or have even a pathway to green card status, to the permanent legal residency, or at the minimum, support what the House of Representatives already passed, which is a work permit for roughly 6 million undocumented people, with 51 votes, right? Again, the senators are not taking a stand to try to do this, to pass this with 51 votes. They're being conservative and wanting Republican support when we know that's non-existent. So I'm inviting everybody that's listening in today to join in and to sign this change.org petition that you have access to.
And again, it's important to recognize that in 2009, well, multiple things here. The whole idea of immigration reform is not just democratic individuals, but everybody wants to see immigration reform. George W. Bush, when he was the president of the United States, also advocated for immigration reform. And now what we are seeing is that even some Republicans conducted some polling out there about immigration reform. And some of the Republicans are actually getting responses from the voters out there who identify as conservatives and Republicans. And they clearly said that they are interested, that this is the time, because it's better to know who's here than to not know. And as a result of that, it's better to give them legal status and the benefits that come with it. And so the Democrats said in 2008, put us in Congress, put us in the White House, and we'll give you immigration reform. 2009 comes in. They were in there for a whole year in control, and well, 2 years really, in control of the House, the Senate, and the White House, and there was no immigration reform. There was not even a discussion about immigration reform. Then 2 years later, they lose control of the of Congress and the White House, really, because nothing was passed when Obama pretended that he wanted immigration reform. And so now we are here almost 10 years later, a little bit over 10 years later, and now they're saying, hey, yes, we want to give you immigration reform. And now they come up with this idea that supposedly the parliamentarian has more say on whether or not the 51 votes count or not. But multiple experts of constitutional law have clearly said what you said, which is, how is it that some laws can be passed with 51% or 51 votes, but not others that have to do with humanitarian reasons, such as immigration? And so what some of these law experts have clearly said is, if the parliamentarian is getting in the way, you legally can get rid of the parliamentarian, because the parliamentarian was not elected by the people. It's somebody like any other employee that is here today and is gone tomorrow. And as a result of that, you have a campaign going on to demand that Dianne Feinstein, who is still going up to re-election in 2024, but it is unlikely based on multiple reports that we have seen, including from a newspaper in the area, has stated that Dianne Feinstein may not finish her term in 2024. In fact, she may not even make it through the end of this year. And as a result of that, you are demanding still that Dianne Feinstein and Alex Padilla here in California, again, stand up and publicly demand that this vote take place with the 51 votes. And so, can you tell us how can people participate? Who can participate? In the signature gathering that you have going on.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, anybody can sign, right? Like sometimes people, hey, I don't have status, I don't have papers. Can I sign? Yes, you can. I'm a citizen. I'm a green card holder. Whatever status does not matter. Basically, what we want to get out of you, we want to let politicians look at these numbers, right, in terms of different topics. And if they see that we have, that we just met with them a week ago, we created this petition in the last few days, and it's already up to more than 60, close to 70 signatures already, and it's not even 24 hours. They'll know that we have that power, right? We have this influence, and that people, in fact, want to change. Related to what you were saying, right? Like, More than 55% of registered Republicans, right? These are voters. More than 55% of registered Republicans want an immigration reform of voters, right? That's usually not what we think. More than 80% of Democrats, 80 to 85% of Democrats want an immigration reform to take place. More than 70, close to 75% of independents want an immigration reform. These are the people, right? These are the American people, the voters. So Republicans oftentimes say, no, our people don't want this. They do. The vast majority want an immigration reform because they know it's fair, because they know it's time, and because, again, we want to know who's in, and we want to be able to track one another, and see what's happening. So yeah, I'm urging everybody to sign off on this. Again, it's a change.org petition. You can always contact me, Luis Bravo, my cell phone 707-294-5005, 707-294-5005. You can call, you can text, let me know. Rafael also has access to this petition via change.org in his social media links. This will also be going on into the Comite VIDA, Comite VIDA Facebook site shortly, so that people can sign off on it as well.
Definitely. And just in the time that we've been talking here, we are now at 77 signatures. And this went live literally like an hour and a half ago. So this is exactly what people need to see. Every time somebody signs this petition, an email is sent to the office of Dianne Feinstein, and an email gets sent to the office of Alex Padilla. And so what I'll say here as we are coming to the end of this conversation is, years ago, a politician in Washington was asked, how do you determine whether or not you're going to vote yay or nay on a proposed law? He would say, if I get 7 phone calls that said, yes, I support this legislation, and I get 4 that say, no, I do not support that legislation, he says, I count those 7 as if it was 7,000 of the residents of my district demanding yes on it. And I count 4 as if it is only 4,000 of my, the people I represent saying no. And so I'm going to vote yes, because I know that I want to get reelected, and I want to get reelected by the majority, which means those 7,000 people. And so every time somebody signs this petition, is a reminder to these politicians that, again, their future is in the hands of the community. And a lot of the kids that are able to sign, right, anyone can sign, including kids, because these 15 and 16-year-olds will be the ones who are U.S. citizens, will be the ones voting in the next election or two to either elect or not re-elect these politicians. And so it's in the best interest of the politicians to do what the Republican Party has recognized many, many years ago, and that is to listen to the community. And so the community can go to Facebook, DACA Sonoma County, or you can simply go to change.org and look up immigration reform, and you'll be able to see immediately the logo of Comite VIDA, which says Volunteer Immigrant Defense Action. And so as a result of that, you'll be able to vote if you are so inclined. And so again, we are at 77 votes as we speak here, and this is 5:53 p.m. here in Santa Rosa, California. And with that, I want to thank you, Luis, for taking the time on this day where you're supposed to be resting. Here you are organizing. And I say to people, right, when people say, why don't you take a day off? I said, well, if the oppressor doesn't take a day off, why should I take a day off, right? So thank you for taking the time. Thank you for being with us here at Líderes del Futuro on KBBF 89.1 FM. And I look forward to maybe talking with you in the next couple of weeks to update us as to what's going on, to see if Dianne Feinstein is going to contact your office and have another dialogue. Perhaps maybe Alex Padilla will do the same. So thank you again, Luis, for taking the time and being with us.
Thank you so much, Rafael. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening in. Hopefully we can get your support. Yes, we're hopefully close to concretizing something with Senator Feinstein's office, and yeah, maybe other senators. Thank you all for the time.
Thank you. You take care and try to enjoy whatever is left of today. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.